Right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. It is a Monday late afternoon, and we are well less than 24 hours away from the first Springbok team announcement of 2023. And all the speculation, all the conversations, all the debate is going to be put behind us, really, because in a day or so's time, we're going to find out all about what exactly is going to happen on Saturday with regards to who is going to don the new green and gold jersey that we still do not know what will look like. No confirmation yet from Nike and the Springboks as to when the new Springbok jersey will be launched. Yeah, we wait on that. But what we do know is that tomorrow we will have a Springbok team announcement. We will know our 23 to face Australia this weekend. And what that will also then give us is the players who have left or will be leaving early to go over to New Zealand and take on the All Blacks next weekend. So basically, I think, the players that are going over early tomorrow or tomorrow and Wednesday will probably be the players who are going to sort of start for the All Blacks. And I think, you watch out for your, expect from me like your Luat Diagas, Malcolm Marks, I expect to be on the plane there, your Frans Herbert, potentially Stephen Kitsoff. I think Damien Day-Lindy will be on the plane there. I think that Chisholm Colby will be on the plane. I think Faf de Klerk will be on the plane over to New Zealand. So it's going to be interesting to see what our team looks like tomorrow. Because it will be a bit of a second stream team. There's no doubt about that. Our best team is going over to New Zealand. Jacques and LIBBOK can talk about the fact that it's not an A and a B team. It's a team leaves, you can get results, etc., etc. It's an A and B team, let's be honest. We know that we want to beat the All Blacks. That's kind of, that's always our yardstick. It's always our big thing on a year is to make sure that we're beating the All Blacks. That's, always, one of our biggest priorities. And as a result, tomorrow's team will be full of players who've got opportunities this weekend to get themselves into the World Cup mix. That is the exciting thing, is that, yes, it might not be our strongest team, but it's going to be a bunch of really good players who are on the fringes of that World Cup squad. Some players who will be in the World Cup squad, but probably won't be in the final 23, for example. And the question is, which of these players can really stand up this weekend, put their hands up, put themselves into the World Cup mix, and create a bit of doubt within the coaches and stuff like that. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about the team announcement and what we're sort of expecting. There has been a bit of a leak with regards to what is supposed to be an expected backline. We got an injury update as well, as an availability update this morning, as well from Deon Davids early this afternoon from Deon Davids. That press conference is on the channel, so you can go and check it out. We will also have a update from Australia. We had a press conference about an hour ago, and that press conference will also be up on the channel very soon, and we will also be uploading a couple of clips and stuff like that to Forever Rugby. So if you haven't already, go and check out Forever Rugby as well, because there'll be a lot of stuff going on there. Right, now in terms of, before we sort of get stuck into what we expect tomorrow, in terms of what you can look forward to tomorrow with regards to content. Now, we don't know what time the team is coming out. That is, unfortunately, not been confirmed. It will be before 2 o'clock, I can tell you that much, but how long before, we're not sure, to be perfectly honest. And we will only find out tomorrow, won't we? So the thing is, in terms of what we're going to be planned, is that obviously when the team comes out, we will post the team. We'll have a video goes out taking us through the team, taking us through some of the stats and stuff like that. And then we will also go live for a live reaction show. We did this last year. A lot of people really enjoyed it, and it will be back tomorrow. So we will be doing a live reaction to the Springbok squad or Springbok team announcement. So you can go and so basically what you want to be doing is you want to be putting the notification on the channel, because we will have a video up within 5 minutes of the team announcement with the team, and we will also have a reaction show. We will be talking about exactly what we expect to see from the team announcement tomorrow. We can sort of talk about the selections, what it means as well. So talk about the players who, again, as mentioned, will be going over to New Zealand early. We will also have the press conference with Jacques Nielbo and a player tomorrow. I think Rassie Erasmus as well is going to be involved in that one. So head coach and 2 players. There'll be 2 players and Jacques Nielbo tomorrow. Then we will also have a Wednesday press conference, and then Friday we will obviously have the usuals of Stick and the captain's presser as well. So all of that will be on the channel. So you don't have to worry about too much about that. It'll all be on the channel. So all you need to do is just watch every day, basically, and all the stuff you need to know. We'll be live tomorrow for the reaction. We'll be live on Wednesday for rugby news, and we'll be live on Thursday, hopefully for the fan forum. And then Friday it'll be captain's run. Saturday obviously we'll be live for the game. And the Springbok season has officially begun, really, hasn't it? We've got test week, and it's upon us, which is very exciting. And hopefully you can see a lot of new faces in and around the channel over the next few weeks as we do go through the Rugby Championship. So yeah, jump in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions that I can try and answer, or if you have any sort of points to add, or opposed to what you're expecting to see tomorrow. Welcome, Dylan. Good to see you in the chat. To say, and the teams are being announced. So the Springbok team announcement is tomorrow. The Australia team announcement is on Thursday. We'll obviously be there as well. We'll have our official preview out on Thursday. We've got a how to watch video coming out this evening, and we will do a specific how to watch the Springboks versus Australia. That video will come out on Wednesday, hopefully. So yeah, and then obviously any last minute changes, any breaking news and stuff like that, we will bring to you over the week as well. Yes, at this stage, in terms of the jersey, because I know a lot of people have asked you about that, still no word yet about the jersey. I can confirm that it was delayed. We do know a couple of people behind the scenes, and they did confirm that it was, I think, supposed to be launched by now. There was a bit of a delay in things. I think there was supposed to be quite a big event, launch event, stuff like that. And all of a sudden, that is looking like that won't be the case, because we've just run out of time. We've got less than a week. So yeah, I mean, in the next 5 days. So I've heard conflicting reports. Some people saying that, we could have an announcement the next day or two. Other people saying that it could be announced as late as this weekend, to try and stop fakes. Apparently, the issues. Personally, I think, if you announce a shirt tomorrow, I don't think there'll be that many fakes up by Friday. I don't think people are that. At the end of the day, you got to mass produce and produce these things, and to be able to do them cheaply enough, you have to get them from overseas, or you have to get them from, different suppliers, stuff like that. So they could have announced it now. I don't think they would have had to worry too much about fakes this weekend. Plus, fakes are fakes. They're going to be out there anyway. It's actually quite funny, because I did a mock concept last year in September when Nike was announced as the new kit sponsor, and it looks like the concept and the mock-up I've done has actually become the template used for all the fakes that are floating around. So if you don't like the fakes that are floating around, my bad. Apparently they have used my design, which is quite amusing. But I can confirm that unless Nike really liked it as well, that is not the actual BOK jersey, and we will see the BOK jersey, I suppose, later on Saturday afternoon, won't we? I'm very cool to see the pre-warm-up kit will be quite, I think it's going to be quite cool. I think so far, all the Nike kits have been really cool. The bucket hat's very cool. The tracksuits are nice. The shoes are nice. The training shirts are nice. Everything I've seen so far, and we've seen, is going to be, so far, it's been very cool. So hopefully they will, hopefully they'll sort of match the energy there. So yes, honestly, I'll be at all the press conferences this week. So we will have, as I said, every single day there'll be a BOK press conference up, as well as Australia press conferences and stuff. Andre saying I think they will launch the jersey on game day. That is, apparently I've heard that they might actually start selling them on Friday, but they might actually launch it on Saturday, which for me is a bit of a weird thing to do. But anyway, we wait and see. In terms of our World Cup coverage, we will have an announcement in hopefully just over 2 weeks' time, about exactly what we will be doing for the World Cup. Unfortunately, I can't say much about it now, because we're still in conversations with certain brands and certain stakeholders about what we can do and what we're not going to be able to do. So yeah, we will be having an announcement, hopefully in about the third week of July, I'm hoping. So towards the end of July, we'll hopefully have a bit of a World Cup announcement where we can show you exactly what is planned for the World Cup. I'm incredibly excited. It's really frustrating me not being able to tell you guys some of the things we've got planned. All I can say is that it's going to be a YouTube campaign that a World Cup has never seen before. We're talking about over 500 videos being produced at a minimum during that World Cup period. It's going to be absolutely mental, the amount of stuff we're going to be doing and putting up for you guys. So that's the only thing I can disclose. We will have an official announcement about exactly what is going to be happening for the World Cup by the end of the month. In terms of tomorrow, what can we expect? Right, in terms of injuries, no Andre Pollard, no Eben Etzebeth, no Sia Khaleesi. That is all confirmed. We know that they will not be featuring tomorrow. We wait and see if Eben Etzebeth might make it for the All Blacks game. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if he's going to travel, or whether they're going to. I personally would only bring him in for that Argentina game. I think it gives him an extra 2 weeks. And at the end of the day, we know exactly what we get out of him. So there's absolutely no need to do anything risky with Evan. We just wrap him up in cotton wool. We give him enough minutes to get going, but that's all we need to do. So from an injury front, Damien Willemse is fully fit and he's been cleared. I think there was something. I think Bongi, had picked up a bit of a knock, but he's fine. Jaden Hendrickson is not part of the squad at the moment. He did leave. He was not part of training this morning. It is apparently a personal issue. We had been promised a statement out of the Springbok camp, so we can confirm that Jaden Hendrickson will not be involved this weekend. Nothing. Yeah, we're not quite sure what the nature is, whether it's going to rule him out for the rest of the championship, whether it's just a week thing. We've got no idea what's going on. But our thoughts go to him and Jordan and the family if it is a family issue. But yeah, so he will not be involved this week. Apart from that, everybody else isn't very fit. So Damien Willemse, as mentioned, is fit. Yeah, everyone's ready and up to going. So who can we confirm is starting tomorrow? Well, we can basically assume and confirm Marvin Orie and Andre Esterhuizen will be at the very minimum in the 23. They were the two on media duty today. I do expect both of them to start. As I said, I think Damien Delendi will be on the plane to New Zealand, and therefore I think that he will start. Esterhuizen will start at 12 on Saturday. I think Marvin Orie will start at 5, with Louis Diaga going over to New Zealand as well, would be my guess. It'll be interesting to see if Arca Snyman is involved this weekend. I would like to see him involved. I think that we haven't seen him in a Bok jersey, and I think that coming off the bench would be nice for him this weekend, and maybe even again next weekend. I think Jean Klein's got a good chance of starting tomorrow. I mean, this weekend. I think that at the end of the day, we need to find out relatively quickly whether he's ready and whether he's a good option there. And so I think that he needs a bit of game time. There's rumours that Dwayne Van Buren will be starting. And then there's been a bit of a leak with regards to a backline. And the backline leak said that it is going to be Kobus Reinach, Marnie LIBBOK, I think Kanan Moody on the one wing, Andre Esterhuizen and Kanya Am in the midfield, Kirkley Arendse on the other wing, and Vililu at full back. I think that's a pretty good guess. I mean, as I said, it could be leak. I mean, we don't know if it's a leak straight out of the block camp or whether it's somebody just taking a bit of a punt. But there are stories floating around that is the supposed backline for this weekend, and I don't think it's going to be far off that. To be honest, I think that's got it's a logical team. It's got a nice balance of Vililu and Kanya in key positions, where they've still got that experience, where they can sort of sit there and say, cool, we don't have to worry, for example. They're still going to be there and still going to be fine. But at the same time, you're playing your two other wings, I suppose. Your two reserve wings. You're playing in many ways, probably your second choice scrum half in Kobus Reinach, for example. Marnie LIBBOK hasn't yet started an international game, so he'll get his first potential start, which I think is also a pretty good decision if they are making it, because he needs to get game time in, and we need to find out whether he is up to that, and if he is, we need to get him into as many games as possible. And I think that Andre Esterhuizen is he's always going to be the second choice centre at this stage, and Delendi gets injured, so we know what we get out of Delendi play Esterhuizen, but I think Lekanya didn't play as much last year as we would have liked him to do because of the injury. And as a result, I think it'll be nice to see him getting a bit of game time, and I think that he'll start next weekend anyway. So I think that sort of backline for me makes sense. I'd be interested to see what the bench is. For example, is Damien Willemse going straight over to New Zealand? Will he be on the bench? If he's not on the bench, Alton Yankees will be on the bench, and he will be the other backs. I think Grant Williams will probably be on the bench for me. Given the fact that there is no Jaden Hendrickson, I think Faf will go over. So I think Reinach and Grant Williams will be our two scrum halves. I think wouldn't surprise me if Alton Yankees is on the bench tomorrow as well. I don't know if we're going to go with a 6-2 or 5-3 split. I imagine we'll go 5-3 split. In terms of who the other backline player on the bench is, that again would be interesting. So for me, it wouldn't surprise me if Damien Willemse is on the bench, and you could almost go, Grant Williams, Alton Yankees, Damien Willemse. You could go to 6-2 with, Grant Williams and Damien Willemse as well, because Damien Willemse covers everywhere in the backline, barring maybe outside centre, but he could probably play there if he really had to. So yeah, I think that for me would make a lot of sense. In terms of the pack, I'm interested to see what's going to go on there. I think Joseph Dweba starts potentially. I think he will start. I think that Bongi be on the bench. Although we've often seen Malks coming off the bench and Bongi left out completely. But if we're sending a lot of players to New Zealand, I personally would just send Marks to New Zealand. I'll start him next week. So I think that we'll have Joseph Debo start tomorrow with Bongi off the bench. I think in terms of props, we don't really see Vincent Koch start, so I'll be surprised. Thomas Satoya, I think, is going to get a go, and it wouldn't surprise me if they go with Oxenchair as well. And they could go with Bongi starting, for example, and having that full sort of Sharks front row. But I think Francois Herbert probably on the plane would be on the plane, and I think Kitsov for me would probably be on the plane. As I said, locks for me, I'd probably go Jean Klein and Marvin Uri. I think Marvin Uri has become a very important player for the Boks in terms of the experience he brings. He has gotten such a big role these days when it comes to the Stormers. I think that's really impacting on his Bok chance. I think he's become quite an important asset to the Boks. The loose trio for me is going to be the most interesting, because I think Kwaka Smith's going to go over, and it wouldn't surprise me if Peter Steph goes over. I also think Frank Mostert will go over to New Zealand. So I think that you're going to see potentially Markov and start. On the 7, I'd be quite like to see Jean-Luc Dupree get a go. And then 8, we could see Evan Rose could be. So I think we'll see. Well, apparently Dwayne Vermeulen could be involved. So if that's the case, then it wouldn't surprise me if Jasper Wiese is going to go over to New Zealand, and in which case you'll have Evan Rose on the bench. For me, you have Arthur Snyman on the bench. And again, probably I'd like to see a 5-3 in terms of trying to see the most players as possible. But yeah, and then reserve props, for example. I mean, I'd like to see Kitsop go over, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's there. I think Francois Herbert won't play. I'm hoping he'll be on the plane. And I'd be interested to see if it's Joe Stover or Bongi who will be off the bench to start. I think Drever's only come off the bench once or twice. When he plays, he genuinely starts, and my gut says that will be the case tomorrow. Some of the questions, so I'll talk about what I've been talking about. Andre's saying, I like how they're overhyping Eddie. Hopefully LIBBOK gets game time. When do they reveal the jerseys? No date yet, or time or whatever. Mark's probably heading to New Zealand. Davey said, the rumor background is true. I'm excited at the prospect of a speedy and expansive game. Well, it's going to be very interesting, isn't it? Because Australia are busy amassing a huge pack. Eddie Jones is bringing all the muscle in, Richie Arnold, Will Skelton. He's bringing in the big boys. And at the end of the day, if you want to be a toe-to-toe with the Boks, you've got to be able to handle physicality. And Eddie Jones is putting together this ginormous pack, which will probably be able to handle the Boks physicality. What is interesting is how the Boks have shown that they can speed up play and they can keep ball in hand and try and move a pack around, because they did that against France. France have got this stupidly big pack, and when we played against them, we almost didn't kick them back possession, and we try to move the game around a lot and try and sort of nullify the size of their pack by getting them to move a lot. It is also at altitude, so that for me would make sense as a tactic to then go and say, right, well, they're bringing this big pack. Let's move the ball around. Let's get that altitude working. I mean, there's the famous sign as you run into the field, which says, altitude, I think it's 1,350. It matters. It does matter. There's no doubt it matters. Australia arrived here on, I think, Friday, and the Boks have been training in Pretoria for about a month now. So altitude is definitely going to matter. That they can't. Australia can try and nullify it and say it's not going to make a difference. It is going to make a difference. There's no doubt about it. Especially because the Boks have been training it. So I think altitude will play a part, and I think it'll be interesting to see how that pack does cope, the Australian pack that is, how they cope with the altitude. Thoughts on Trevor going to the Rugby World Cup? I think he should go personally. I think that for me he should be the 5th prop. I think you've got Oxenchair, Stephen Kitsop as your 2 loose heads. You've got Francois Herbert, Vincent Koch as your 2 tight heads. For me, it's between Trevor and Thomas Latoy for that sort of swing prop. And I think we're very quick to forget how good Trevor was 2 years ago. That British and Irish Lions series, for example, even that Rugby Championship, he was ginormous. I mean, he was just dominating scrums. He was winning scrums, both at tight head and loose head. And I think when Trevor Newcombe is playing his best rugby, I think he's one of our best props. So, yeah, I'd like to see him at the Rugby World Cup. I think that we're very quick to forget how good he is when he's at his best. He's one of the best scrummagers around. And just stupid amount of experience as well. So, really been there, done that. And also, when you think about how he was doing so well in that last World Cup, and then he got injured in literally the first match. and didn't play another part, we'd really like to see from that perspective, want to see him go there. I'd like to see him go there. I'd like to see him get another opportunity to really go and go to the World Cup and show us what he can do, because he got robbed of that. He is a World Cup winner, but he didn't get to play as much as we would have liked him to have played, and we probably would have played had he actually managed to stay fit. Well, not managed to stay fit, but he had much of a choice. He didn't get injured. Are you having the 21 games tomorrow? We will confirm. We might be doing the block game. I'll have to confirm that tomorrow. It depends on press conference and stuff like that. Matthew saying Jaden's dad passed. Okay, I mean, that hasn't been announced yet from my side, so I can't confirm that. But if that is the case, then it makes sense. They did confirm it as a personal issue, so we'll wait on that. But yeah, if that is the case, then thoughts to him and Jordan. It did sound like it was a family related incident. So yeah, we'll wait and find out on that. I'm going to say another backup fly-off is needed. Well, technically they've brought another backup fly-off. There's actually 4 in the squad, and 3, excluding Andre Pollard. So Alton Yankees is the other backup fly-off, and then we've got Damien Willemse. So in theory, we've got 3 and 4th on his way back in Andre Pollard. So yeah, I think we're right on the fly-half stocks. Right, so what would I like to see out of this weekend? I think what would I like to see on our team announcement tomorrow? I mean, if we go and look at the squad, and where is the full squad? Let me make sure we're not sort of missing out anyone. Yeah, there we go. Right, so if you look at the squad, so let's sort of go through it, okay? So our props: Thomas Toye, Stephen Kitso, Vincent Clark, France Mahova, Oxenchair, Trevor Nikani. So I think Trevor Nikani will be involved this weekend. I think Oxenchair will be involved this weekend. I think Thomas Toye will be involved this weekend. And I'm interested to see who of France Mahova or Vincent Clark will be involved. I think Malcolm will be on the plane to New Zealand, but it could be Bongi. One of the two. So Joseph Draper for me is involved this weekend. I think that's pretty much a guarantee. The locks: Lotte Yagi, Eben Etzebeth, Marvin Ori, Archie Sneeman, as well as Jean Klein, who's obviously been confirmed, isn't added to that. So I think that Lotte goes over, and I think Archie for me comes with the bench. Eben Etzebeth won't be involved, so I think that it's going to be Jean Klein, Marvin Ori, and I think Sneeman off the bench would be what I would do. And I'd send Franco Mostert over there. Pistev Toy, I'd send over there. Khaleesi's not available. Evan Roos will be involved. I think Clark Smith, will go over. I think Van Staden will be involved. I think Visa might be involved. I think Dwayne Vermeulen will be involved. Wouldn't surprise me if Jasper Visa also goes over. Jean Dupree, Dion Paris, I think both of them could very well be involved as well. I think we could see Dion Paris as that sort of utility forward. Franco Mostert, I would like to see go to New Zealand. Scrum Master after Clerk, for me, goes over. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see whether it's going to be Herschel Yankees, Kobus Randolph, Grant Williams. I think Kobus Randolph will be involved. So I don't think that. I'll be interested to see whether it's Herschel or Grant who gets the opportunity. It's 6.5 dozen, isn't it? It's a case of the experience of Herschel Yankees in terms of having been around the squad. Compared to the form of Grant Williams, so that's a big decision to make. Fly Hearts, Mikey LIBBOK, Andre Pollard, Damien Willemse. So they've obviously added Alton Yankees. Andre Pollard not available. I wouldn't be surprised if both LIBBOK and Willemse are ready this weekend. Although I also wouldn't be surprised if they do send Willemse over. But I think that when it comes to utility forwards, the thing they'll need is versatility. So I think that he will be involved on Saturday. I think Damon DeLinde will go over. I'm interested to see if JC Creel's on the bench this weekend, because apparently DeCanio is starting. So, I mean, I'd be very surprised, for example, if JC Creel is going over. So if he's not starting, I'll be interested to see if he's on the bench. And if he's not on the bench, is he going to? He'll probably remain behind in case there are any sort of last minute injuries. So obviously, so it's not literally be a 23, and therefore I think about 8 or 9 players will go over, and I think they'll leave it about. So, for example, we'll have to have a proper 2 left behind. And some of them will go over on Saturday night immediately after the game. Some of them will go, and the rest of the squad will go on Sunday. Outside backs, I think Chesney Colby will go over. I think Mapimpi will go over. Because I think we can make do between, well, maybe one of them will stick around, but I think that between Jesse Creel, Damian Willems, Curtly Orange, Vililu, and Kane Moody, we can probably make do with those. So yeah, as I said, no confirmation on the jerseys. Nancy is saying just got confirmation jerseys released on Wednesday, the 5th at 3 p.m. SA. Well, we'll wait and see. I don't want to say anything yet because things just keep changing all the time. I don't want to make promises and then and then I can't keep them. So we'll wait and see. Hopefully, yeah, it'll be cool to see if they come out on Wednesday. We'll obviously do a video on that. I did a video on the All Blacks jersey on my personal channel where I basically said it's dreadful. Some people are very upset about me saying it's dreadful and saying it's all about it's all about how they plan out about the jersey. But I mean, for me, it's a bit of a weird thing to get upset about looking at a jersey and saying whether you like it or not. David says, how lucky are we with all these speedy and dynamic youngsters coming through? Perfect time to round out our game just for World Cup. We saw a glimpse of that towards the end of the Autumn Nations. What do I mean by go over? So to New Zealand, a section of the squad will be travelling over to New Zealand either on Tuesday or Wednesday night. Confirmation of that will probably be tomorrow, if not Wednesday, in terms of who exactly will be going over early. I think a couple of physios and stuff are going over, but none of the core Springbok coaching staff will be going over early. So Felix Jones, Odila Stick, Dion Davis, Don Human, Joaquin Alba, Rassi Rasmus, they will all remain here, and they will fly over on Saturday night or Sunday night to go and join up with the squad. We did this a couple of years ago in the World Cup. Yeah, we did that split squad approach. It worked, and we are going to be doing it again. Pretty much wrapping up here. I'm going to wrap up a poll. I asked, should LIBBOK start? And it's been a resounding yes from the 63 votes. 92% of people saying yes, he should start. So we'll wait and see tomorrow. We'll know. As I said, so the plan for tomorrow, and pay attention, write some notes, put it in your diary if you need to. We will have a video up as soon as the team has been announced. That'll go up within minutes of the team being announced. And we will then go live, and we will then break down the team, talk about it, who's lucky, who's unlucky, and what it could mean for the way we're going to play, what it's going to mean in terms of who we think is going to go to New Zealand early, and that stuff. So there's a lot to talk about. So we will be live tomorrow. We'll also then have the press conference up, which will then let you guys see what Jacques Nienaber has to say about the squad and how he's picked it and who he's picked it and stuff like that. We'll be hearing from 2 players who will be involved as well. For example, if LIBBOK is starting, then I think you'll see him in the press conference, and I think you'll see a forward. You could see a Jean Klein. It would be quite cool to see him. If not, I think you'll see those 2 on the Wednesday. We will be hearing from 6 players in the next couple of days before the captain on Friday. Also interesting to see who the captain will be. Lakanya if he's starting, is obviously an option. If Grant Williams is involved, he's obviously quite an obvious option as well. Stephen Kitshoff's been captaining for the Stormers, but I don't think he'll be involved. So there are lots of different options for captain, stuff like that. I'll hopefully have the Australian press conference up tonight in the next couple of hours, and then tomorrow we will have both the Springbok and the Australian press conference. The nice thing about the Australian press conference is that it takes place after the BOK announcement, so it'll actually be quite cool to quiz the coaching staff and all the players. It doesn't actually say who's going to be around tomorrow, but we'll be able to have an opportunity to sort of quiz them about what they think about the BOK team before we hear about who the Australian team is on Thursday. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. We'll be live every day this week, so plenty of content coming your way. And this weekend, let's get back to some big watch-alongs. And if you are new to the channel, then you get to come experience a watch-along for the first time. Please do smash like the video on the way out, and I'll see you guys all live tomorrow when the BOK team is announced, and we can go through a debate and talk about what we like and don't like. But until then, keep safe.